Hey, Choose Life Nation. This is Dallas Cohen, the Rebound Coach, and you are watching or listening to another episode of the Rebound Coach Live. I am so glad that you're here today. There's a lot of places to be on the internet, so I'm especially glad that you found your way over here to this corner of the interwebs to spend some time with me today. And if this just happened to pop up on your feed and you're not sure who this is or why this popped up here and who am I, I'm Dallas Cohen, the Rebound Coach. And if you're not sure what a rebound coach is, I help people get unstuck. In particular, I serve high achieving women of faith who've been through betrayal or trauma or abuse and who want to reclaim territory in their relationship with themselves. So you might be wondering, how'd that get started? So I'll tell you the quick and dirty version that got you and I to having this moment today. I was married 10 years to a man who wanted me dead. And he almost got his opportunity. And that didn't make a whole lot of sense for someone like me. I was raised in a good Christian home. I had two Christian parents that loved God. They loved each other. They were married for a lifetime until my mom passed away. And were overall a good example, through life's ups and downs of what good marriage can look like. At the same time, I was molested from the time I was 8 to the time I was 16. And we know that radically affects how you see yourself, because those are identity forming years, how you relate to God in a household of faith, and how you relate to men. So fast forward, I met the man that I married and eventually divorced. And there were definitely red flags. There were reasons not to be together. The red flags were not what all ended up happening. Somebody told me recently, warned you. I didn't get spelled out, this is what was going to happen. But what I did do then is the way I would do now. I'm a praying woman. I was then. And I believed that God's answer was yes. And because of that, I believe that whatever came, we would outlast it. We'd overcome it. God would swoop in and save the day. And everything would just get better if all I had to do was stay and hold on and pray and do my part. And so that's what I had resigned to do. And we got in trouble, came right away. I didn't have a honeymoon period and then surprise. No, it was straight on. And we got into this cycle of what I call coping and crisis. So this is where you never quite get to satisfied or okay. You're just kind of coping. You're walking on eggshells not to upset him. You're trying to make up for whatever upset him last time. You're trying to anticipate the next blow up. And no matter how hard you try, something does indeed blow up. And it's in some sort of crisis that just upset everything. And it seemed to me like I was very carefully putting a house of cards together to hold my life together. And every so often, just this breeze would just blow it all up. And I'd have to figure out another way to piece things back together again. Well, we did that cycle for over 9 years, the better part of 10 years. And everything fell apart to the biggest and 10,000th degree. End of 2019, beginning of 2020, my then husband left for another woman. He didn't tell me that. He just kind of left and then lied, but he left. And I found out he and that woman had been plotting my murder for months by the time I found out about it. So needless to say, that's the record scratch moment in the movie. And you're kind of just pause, how did this become my life? How did I end up here? What in the world am I supposed to do now? And you have some really big, important questions. And what's easiest is to just stay on the program you're used to being on. So that identity of, and you're threatened on every level as a wife, as a mom, as a woman, as a child of God, but also as a coach. I'd been coaching, you guessed it, marriage, relationship for probably 5 or 6 years by then. So if you can imagine building this platform, this identity around a certain idea of staying married at all costs, because that's what God wants. And that's the only thing God wants. And having, your marriage be the thing that's falling apart as you try to hold it together in your hands. It's just falling apart, falling through the fingers, and there's nothing you can do. So fast forward through a series of divine events, and I mean supernatural divine events. I'm alive. I am here with you today. My children and I are safe, and we're continuing to grow and learn and unlearn and relearn and retrain all together. It's been several years, and the journey continues. But I could stay in status quo in that crisis moment and allow the identity that my ex-husband had planned for me, and quite frankly, the one I had agreed to. Tell me who I was, tell me how I was allowed to express myself, tell me how I was allowed to mother, how I was allowed to just be a woman, to be a daughter of the king, or I could choose life. So I wrote a book out of all that. It's my second book, and it's a memoir called I Choose Life. Rewrite your love story and change your legacy. And if anything in my story resonated with yours or with you, and you said, oh my gosh, this sounds like me, or this sounds like so and so, someone you care about, this book is for you. I'm going to show you a short testimonial of how Araceli enjoyed this book, I Choose Life.
Hi, my name is Araceli, and I'm from Massachusetts. Before reading this book, I was depressed. I was going through some issues with myself and my mindset. I thought that what I was going through was the end, and that I didn't have any solution to it, and I thought that my pain was bigger than anything else that I couldn't get out. I found this book and I picked it up right away. It brought to my attention the title, and I wanted to choose life. I read this book in a week, and when I went through it, I saw that my pain was not as hard as I thought, that I could overcome whatever obstacle and challenge and pain that I was feeling. Dallas talks so much about, seeing the light and hope and choosing to live, and just feeling like there was a solution, like there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And I love how it was a conversation between her and I. Like I was listening to a friend, and I felt like God was surrounding us, and it was just a life transformation. That when I finished the book, my mindset changed. I thought I had a new mindset. I wasn't a victim anymore, and I was able to overcome the pain. I was able to see a brighter future and go beyond. And I started making changes in my life and the way I was caring for myself. Started caring for myself. Started doing things for me, and I have changed so much in what I think and how I think about it. But it all started reading the book and applying what she coaches through the book to my life.
Okay, you can get your copy of I Choose Life at thereboundcoach.com/book. That is thereboundcoach.com/book. You can get a physical copy just like this, and I will personally sign it and mail it out to you. Or you can get one from Amazon. They will send you one without a love note from me. And or you can get an ebook copy, all at thereboundcoach.com/book. All that information is over there. Okay, so today we're going to do a light touch on a heavy topic. I'm going to talk about shame, which is a pretty heavy topic. and its cousin, guilt and shame. They just ride together all the time in the car, and and I want to talk about how to live life shamelessly. If you heard my story and any of that resonated with you because you've experienced maybe domestic violence, religious abuse, or childhood sexual abuse, you know that shame comes with that. It's like a package. Here's your trauma, here's your shame. They ride together, and some guilt. Let's heap on some guilt, right? So something that definitely comes with betrayal or trauma or abuse is shame. And you may not really realize consciously that that's what's motivating some of your decisions, motivating some of your attitudes, some of your mental states, motivating even sometimes physical ailments come out of guilt and shame. So here's some of the signs that kind of show up for professional women, high achieving women, who might be dealing with shame or guilt. Perfectionism. Anyone? Um, a lot of times when we have shame and we're ashamed of something of ourselves, something we feel like we cannot change, we feel like we need to go prove our worthiness. And one of the ways that expresses itself is in trying to be absolutely perfect, no matter what. I have to be perfect all the way. So perfectionism, also procrastination for the same reason. If I want to be perfect and something's not perfect, or I can't figure it out, or I'm not sure, it won't end up perfectly, I don't want anyone to see it. I want to work on it forever, and then I'll present something perfect. Well, life never works that way. So we tend to procrastinate. So perfectionism, procrastination, and workaholism, those three go together. So workaholism is the same way. I'm going to work and work and work and work and work to prove my worthiness, to do something of value because I'm ashamed of this other aspect of my life, or I'm ashamed of this other aspect of me. Okay. So perfectionism, procrastination, workaholism, self-criticism, and over apologizing. I put those two together. So self-criticism, you may hear, especially in the working world, you'll hear women self-deprecate. So, they'll say something that's negative about themselves in a joking manner, like, haha, isn't it funny? I made, a joke on myself. Or they over apologize. So everything is, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're so sorry. It's ridiculous. We apologize for things we didn't do. We apologize for things that don't need apologies, like existing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm standing here. What? Why? Like, stop. That's it's fake. It's fake humility. It's false humility, right? And it's a sign that there's guilt or shame behind that, trying to shrink and be smaller and smaller and invisible, right? So we talked about that, I believe, last week, where we can both ache to be seen and feel very comfortable hiding. So I forgot to say, I want to thank everyone who came out to Soul Nourish Night last week. We had a really beautiful, intimate time. It was a small group of us women, and it was really special. So I want to say thank you for everyone who came out and joined us. And also, if you are watching this live or close to live this week, Monday, May 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be on Facebook Lives. On Facebook Live is a podcast called Embrace with Prophetess B, and I'll be there. So I will put the information in the description of this live on YouTube if anyone wants to catch it. It'll be there forever because that's how Facebook Live works. So I'll put that information there and you can check it out. Or if you get emails from me, I sent you the link already. It's in your inbox. Okay, so I'd love to have you join us there on Monday, May 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on Facebook Live. Okay, sorry, had to do that commercial. I forgot. I forgot earlier. But if you're dealing with shame, if you're dealing with guilt, There's perfectionism, procrastination, workaholism, we just covered. Then self criticism or over apologizing, just being so sorry for everything, trying to shrink back, hiding, feeling comfortable being hidden, feeling a sense of safety being hidden, but also yearning to be seen. Okay. Which is a really tough space to be in. Also, people pleasing. Okay, so this is I'm trying to convince somebody of my worth. I'm trying to make sure that they know that I'm a good person. I want them to like me. So I'm going to do everything that they ask, whether I can or not, whether it's works for my other responsibilities or not. I just can't say no. Right. So that's lack of boundaries. So people pleasing, lack of boundaries, and also being afraid of confrontation. So there's more than one reason to be afraid of confrontation. Shame and guilt are not the only reason, but having shame or guilt can manifest in a way where we're afraid to confront because we don't want to disappoint anyone. We don't want them getting mad at us. They won't like us anymore if we disagree with them, all of that, right? So if you're like, okay, that's me, you got me. I've dealt with shame. How do I live shamelessly? Many times people come to me and say, oh, Dallas, you're so confident. I envy your confidence. You're so bold. You're so confident. And in my own perspective, it doesn't seem that way all the time. And I think I have moments, right? And then there's other moments where I don't feel very confident or strong or bold, right? And I have felt all the things that I named, being a perfectionist or feeling like I'm afraid to confront someone because they won't like me if I disagree with them. I'll somehow upset my friend and then she won't like me anymore if I disagree with her, or disagree too strongly. So I just avoid certain conversations, right? So I've definitely been there, and I can tell you things that help me progress and things that can help you progress out of shame, out of guilt, and out of that weight that forces you to be small and hide and also long to be seen at the same time. So these are simple concepts, but things that you walk out for the rest of your life. Okay, so forgiveness. And I'm going to say it in three ways: forgiving other people of what they've done, forgiving yourself of the things that you are holding against yourself, and forgiving God. What? God doesn't need forgiving. He's perfect. Yes, he is perfect. But we, in our ways of understanding, often, I'm going to use the word often, blame him for things that are happening in our lives. And I don't always have a, a through answer to that. Now, the surface answer to that, oh, God's perfect. His ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. There's things we just don't understand and we'll come to understand later. Like, that's true. That's true. Our hearts don't connect with that logic part, though. Our emotional receptors don't connect with that logical part. It's like when you have an abuser who has experienced abuse themselves, right? You're like, oh, of course, that's how they learn to relate. That makes sense. I understand why they're doing that, right? You can rationalize that all day long, but your heart says, that person is not a good person and they hurt me and I'm mad at them and they should suffer like I'm suffering and all the things, right? So there's a difference between what your head understands and what your heart understands. So in this case, when things happen to us that we attribute to God, right? In our brains, we know, oh, God's all powerful. God is a good God. So if something bad happens, it's not his fault, right? But the heart, even that's debatable, but the heart doesn't have that line of logic and just knows God said he's in control. He said he loves me. And then this happened. My life sucks. Why does my life suck? If I gave my life to God, that's not fair. I don't like that. I'm mad. Right? Working through shame and guilt, getting rid of that. A part of it is forgiving God of the things that you have held against him. Right? Also forgiving others of the things you've held against them. Also, and here's the big one, forgiving yourself of the things you've held against you. But I'm justified. I really was wrong about that. And I shouldn't have stayed so long. And I shouldn't have done this. And I should have done that. And all the shoulds. Okay. All the shoulds. We have so many shoulds. Okay. So instead of shoulding all over yourself, you can forgive yourself and give yourself grace. Okay. So we talked about forgiving self, forgiving others, forgiving God. Also, just self care and nourishment. And I know that that's a buzzword today, but learning to take care of yourself is the opposite of shame, because shame and guilt causes neglect, physical neglect, emotional neglect, spiritual neglect, just not caring for yourself very well at all. And there's different phases of that, right? There's different, it's not always like, oh no, so and so can't get out of bed. Sometimes that's what it is, but not always. Sometimes it's just like, I'm showing up to my stuff, but I'm barely there. Like I'm dragging and I'm barely there. I'm getting my work done, but I'm really struggling to focus, right? Like all of that falls into play with a guilt or shame condition of the heart. And so we need to do the opposite of taking care of ourselves. What does it mean for your soul to be at rest? What does it mean for your soul to be at peace? What will that take? How can you get closer to that goal for yourself? Okay. So here's some practical things, and then I'm going to give you some steps, some upbeat, fun, well, fun for me, fun steps to go forward. Okay. So number one is to tell someone what you are ashamed of. And if you're not sure, just sit down and start talking. And sooner or later, you will find your way to the things that are what's causing that root of shame or root of guilt. And I can tell you, guilt and shame show up in a lot of ways in our waking life, in our adult life. Often it traces back to one or two instances in childhood. Often it traces back to one or two instances in childhood. When that happened, shame started. When this happened, shame started. And it just snowballs and snowballs, because once we believe something bad about ourselves, we'll behave in that way, we'll attract it, and we'll say, see, no one loves me. This is why. I have proof, right? But it started with that shame and that belief that no one loved you. You were unlovable for whatever reason. And that just snowballed and snowballed into a bunch of different experiences that you've used to beat yourself up with for your lifetime. But you can be free. And today's your day, right? Okay. So tell someone, hey, this is what I've been dealing with. I feel so dirty because this happened to me, right? Now, that's deep, dark, secret stuff. And it's important to share that with someone you can trust, or a professional, like a coach or a therapist or counselor. Okay. And also, so tell someone what's in your heart that's weighing down, and also speak life over yourself. So we talk about choosing life, and we call ourselves Choose Life Nation. And that's about making decisions for growth, making decisions for better, not always to feel better, because self-care, true self-care, doesn't always feel better, but it does move you forward. And so it's important to make that distinction and to choose things that produce growth in your life. Okay. So speak truth over yourself, especially before you're about to go do something. Okay. For ladies in the professional world, before you're about to go make a speech or make a presentation or do something that's going to require some confidence and some shamelessness, talk to yourself and give yourself a pep talk. Encourage your heart. Speak God's truth over yourself. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're the apple of God's eye. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Every last little bit. All the things. You can do all the things through Christ who strengthens you. You don't have to be afraid. Okay? So speaking over yourself, speaking God's truth over yourself is a powerful, powerful tool in your arsenal. Okay? Also, here's some ways to live shamelessly, to build confidence, to build that I can do it and I don't care what you think. kind of attitude, okay? Number one, allow your best to be enough. Do your best. Do your best, but allow your best to be enough. Once you've done it, you've done it, and you'll learn either way, okay? You say, oh, I did that great, fantastic, or oops, that didn't go so great, let me fix it. Either way, your best is enough, okay? And right next to that, others' opinions aren't your business. That's what Tabitha Brown says. That ain't none of my business. And it really isn't. So what people think after you've done your best, what people think is not your concern. But what if they have the power to do something to hurt me? What if they do, and what if they don't? Okay, you're God's child before you are their employee, their subordinate, their sister, mother, daughter, whatever. Whatever your role is, it is secondary to child of the king, and he's got you, regardless of what people think or don't think. So be proud of you. Do your best. That's key. So you can't slough off and then say, I don't care what you think, because they're right in that instance. But it's important once you have done your best. Once you have done your best, then to allow that to be enough. And if your best didn't get the results you wanted, all right, let's try again next time. Let's do something else next time. But don't beat yourself up or give the power of your self-satisfaction to someone else's opinion, because opinions are fleeting. They're here and they're gone. They're with you, they're not with you. Okay? Allow your best to be enough. Others' opinions just aren't your business. They can have whatever opinions they want. It really is not your concern. Okay? Reverse self-criticism with self-affirmations. Affirmations are powerful things, and we don't use them enough, and we say they're woo-woo, and we quit before things get effectual or that we can see. But affirmations are really powerful. Life and death is in the power of your tongue, and you get to use it to create life or to create death. Right? So choose life. Choose life, nation. Choose life. Okay? And speak words of life over yourself. There is an exercise that I do with my clients that we take all of the negative things that our inner voice is saying and completely reverse them. That might be something, if I coach with you, I can walk you through step by step. But just know that the step is to reverse those things. And instead of self-criticism and self-condemnation, to speak self-encouragement, to speak self-life, life over yourself. Okay. And also to lean in. Shame and guilt and self-criticism often leads to procrastination and feeling of overwhelm, because I can't do it right. I can't do it all right now. And it's just too much. And I know for myself, I've struggled with that, with just feeling like overwhelmed. And so I'm not going to do anything because I can't do everything. So I'm going to do nothing. Right. And thinking that short reprieve is going to make me feel better. And it does in the moment. Right. But what's the moment after that? Now I have less time to do the thing I've been procrastinating about. And so the pressure just increases and increases, instead of that being like, oh, I don't have to do that thing for right now because I'm putting it off. It just makes it more pressurized later. And we don't have to live like this, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to live like this, okay? So leaning in, or eat the frog, or there's a whole bunch of phrases that kind of mean the same thing. Just go for it. Even the hard parts, even the stuff you don't want to do, even the stuff you don't have quite figured out yet, even the stuff that you're anticipating is going to have a bad response, still lean in, because you feel better that you've done it. You feel better that, like, you know what? I don't know if it's going to turn out great or not turn out great, but I've done my best and I did it. And I'm not waiting to do it. I have done it. Okay? So those things can help you live shamelessly. It really can. And I just want to encourage you to. If you've been hanging out over here any amount of time, you know that there's a special event coming up that I want to invite you to. It is called Sanctuary Experience, and it's coming up in September. I'm going to show you a quick video about it, and I'll be right back.
Cynthia K. Courtney, and this is
Dallas Cohen, the Rebound Coach.
Woohoo! I'm the founder of Sanctuary Experience, and this weekend we have just had the most amazing time between sisterhood, fun, renewal, and healing. We've got a wonderful group of women here with us this weekend, and next time it will be your turn to come and enjoy with us. If you know that you're experiencing stress that is just over your head and overwhelming, if you know that you've got some trauma and pains that are chasing you and you have yet to create your tribe, you don't have that go-to space to unpack your stuff, Sanctuary Experience is for you. Dallas.
So Sanctuary Experience was created for the woman on the go. You're busy, you have tons of responsibilities, the schedule is encroaching and weighing you down. If you are overburdened by your own life choices, this space is for you. If there is no safe place to tell the whole truth, this space is for you. Make no excuses. We're not getting the days back. If you want peace, if you want joy, if you want fulfillment, if you want the success that somehow, some way you can't seem to reach, your next step is going to thereboundcoach.com and signing up for the next Sanctuary Experience. I will see you there.
No excuses.
Yes, no excuses. You can find information on that at thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. And guys, it is in September and this is May. So this is the time to make your plans. This is a time to mark the dates, to get the time off work, to get the airplane ticket, to get your sanctuary ticket. This is the time. Do not wait until the last minute and then say, oh no, I have this other thing, or oh no, plane tickets cost what they cost. Like, this is it. This is it. This is your life, ladies. This is your life. We don't get the days back. We don't get the years back, and the years fly by. You already know this. How long are you going to wait to be free? How long are you going to wait to deal with your trauma and to deal with your stuff? How long are you going to wait to be seen for real? How long are you going to wait to be in a safe place where you can speak your truth, not just without judgment, but with love? We surround our ladies that come with love and acceptance and excitement. It's a really beautiful experience, and you don't want to miss it. Find out more information, grab your ticket, get your stuff together at thereboundcoach.com/sanctuary. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me. If you're here on the YouTube channel, I just encourage you to subscribe, to like this video, to click the notification bell, and to share. Share this with someone who needs to be encouraged. Share this with your perfectionist friend, your workaholic friend. Share this with someone who can be encouraged and will get a lot out of it. All right. So thanks again for spending time with me. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to the fun things we're going to do together. And until next time, folks, choose life.